Hello friends, welcome back to my educational channel GravityTech. I would like to reiterate here, if you are new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of the awesome contents which I'm going to upload on the channel regularly. And I would like to thank you to all of my returning viewers, right, for your incredible support. I really appreciate each and every one of you. So, what we are learning in this course, we are learning in this course as a Python from the very basics, right? So if even if you're a beginner, you should be able to learn Python with the help of my videos. The complete basic course, you will basically learn it from here. What we have covered until now, we have already covered like what is Python, introduction to Python, how Python is evolved, and then different data types used in Python, right? With some programming practice too. Now, in today's video, what are we going to look at? We are going to look at Python strings. What is the string data type in Python? How do we deal with the strings in a Python, right? And then mostly like everything on the strings, but not, yeah. And then Python is a vast language, right? So not everything we will be able to cover in one video, but yes, whatever I could, right, I will try to cover in this video on the strings front. Okay, so guys, I would like to remind, if you haven't subscribed it, please do subscribe to the channel so that you won't miss the notification of newly uploaded videos. Okay, so now let's get started with the today's incredible session. Okay, so what exactly the Python strings are? Yeah, so the session objective is to learn about the string data type, and then at the end we will see what exactly are we going to cover as a part of the next session. Okay, so see, what are we going to cover in the string data type? We are going to check, we are going to basically see, right, what, how do we create the string? How do we concatenate the strings? What is the indexing and slicing on the strings? What are the string different methods? How do we format the string? What does it really mean by f string? How to calculate the string length? What are the escape sequences in strings? And what does it really mean by the raw string? Okay, so let's maybe go back to the IDE and we'll practically see or programmatically see what exactly the strings are. Okay, so here are we. This is a Python IDE, and then I've created a new file, strings underscore data underscore type dot py, to deal with all of the string related stuff what we are going to learn here. Now, what exactly the string data type means, right? So we know a string data type is often referred to as a string, str, right? See, so this is what actually we call it as, right? And it is basically a fundamental data type in any programming language or the, and basically in the computer science. What does it basically represent? It basically represent a sequence of characters. Let's say now in any name, right? If let's say Taj Mahal. Now, if you look at this string, right, this is a complete string. This is one string. This is a one string, and then it is basically a sequence of characters. And how many characters does it have? Three. The space is also counted as one of the character. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 characters in this string. So the string is basically what? A sequence of characters, such as what? It can have the letters, it can have the digits, it can have the symbols and white spaces too. Okay, so that what does that mean? So the text or the words are basically represent the strings, and in most of the programming languages, strings are commonly used to work with what? Textual data and manipulate it in various way. Now, in most of the programming languages, strings are typically enclosed in the quotation marks. How? Like either double quotation or single quotation. So if you want to write like Taj Mahal, right, you can either write it in like in double quotes, or you can also write that in a single quotes like this. So this is how the strings are basically represented either in double quotes or a single quotes. Okay, so now, what exactly the string can contain, right? So the strings can contain letters, numbers, symbols, and special characters. They can also be like empty string. So if you want um, some string, right? Let's say some str, and if you don't want to initialize with anything, right? You can just may say there is an empty string. This is also called as what? Basically empty strings. So, and then string data type often come with a various built-in operations and the functions that allow you to manipulate and process the strings. Like success, let's say if you want to add two strings, Taj Mahal, and there is another string, let's say is, right? There is in, and then Agra. Correct. Now, how many strings are there? There are like four strings. Now, if you want to add these four strings, you can just simply say like, now when I say add, what does it do? It basically concatenates the string. What does it do? It just concatenates all those things, and then it will basically give a Taj Mahal is in Agra. Okay, so that's how basically you can perform some operations. You can join two string, that is called as a concatenation. You can slice the string. Maybe if you just want to have a part of it, right, you can slice as well. So now let's say we will basically go and look at where is the operation, various operations on the string. So I just wanted to give a kind of some idea what does string mean, and then how do we represent the string, and then what exactly the operations are possible on the strings. Now let's see. So how do we actually use them strings in a Python? Correct. So Python basically str is a data type which is used to represent the sequence of characters. Like let's say that's what actually we saw in last video. Correct. So if I say some str, right, and Taj Mahal. So what data type this will have? The sum str will have the str data type. We already saw that, right? Let me just maybe give and print it so that you guys will know, right, what exactly it is, right? Type of sum str is what? Basically a type and sum str. Now what it will basically print, right? Type of the sum str. It is string. Now we want to use the current file, so we should change it to current file, and then when you run, it will give you, right. See, so the data type of this is going to be what? Str. That's why we say it like up. Str is the data type which is used to represent the sequence of characters. Now strings are like one of the most fundamental data types of the in the Python, and those are basically commonly used to work with textual data only. String can contain the letters, numbers, symbols, and even special characters. That's what actually we saw, right? Even then strings can contain new line character as well. They can contain stabs too. Okay, but they are immutable. What does that mean? Once you create the string, right, you cannot basically modify. Now let's say now I created some str, correct, and if I try to change the third character of str to h, it is not possible. Why? Because this is immutable, not changeable, right? And then you cannot basically change once it is created. The string is created. See, str object does not support the item assignment. Correct? So it's not possible. But if you want to just maybe print the part of it, right? If you just want to print or access third element of the string, it will simply print it. Okay? It says nothing, right? Why? Because third is counted as this. This is 0, 1, 2, and 3. If I say 4, it should basically give a m rather. See m. So that's how this is called as indexing. We'll see it that in detail too. Okay, but what does that mean? Strings are immutable. Means once these strings are created, its contents cannot be changed, and any operation that appears to modify the string is what actually the create the new string. Now let's say that the you might have a question in your mind, right? The sum str4 is equal to g doesn't work, but if we say sum str, let's say we'll try to print the sum str, right? Let's say here, right? But if we assign the new string completely here, right, it allows to do that. Why? What did I do? I created the some str with Taj Mahal as a name, and then I try to change the fourth element of this string, which is not allowed. This is not allowed, whereas this is allowed. Okay, why? We'll see. See, now this is not allowed. It will basically fail at this. Now, if I just maybe comment out this part, it will allow me. See, why? See, what does it happen? I'll tell you. Now, when you create a sum str, okay, when you create a sum str, correct, sum str will point to this. Let's say Taj Mahal, correct. And then, but when you say like sum str is equal to test, what does it do? It basically creates another memory location and keeps test there, and then just says now change this pointer to here. And then Python has one feature of auto garbage collection. At after certain time, if Python finds that there is no reference or no pointers, right, for this object, then it will basically garbage collected. Okay, so that's how it is. So that's why it is allowed, because you are all together creating another reference. But here what you are trying to say, here you are saying that okay, this is already the place, and then in this the Taj Mahal is already there. Now you just change this content, which is not allowed. So changing the existing content is not allowed, whereas basically you can assign the altogether new value, which will basically create a altogether new string. Hopefully you got that right. Now let's see, we'll basically go through some basic operations and the features which are related to the str data type. So very first thing, let's go through creating strings. That's what actually we had it on our slides. Right now, how do we create a string? We can create a strings using single quotes or double quotes or triple quotes. Remember, you can do it like using single quotes, double quotes, or triple quotes. Now how to do that, right? Let's say mm, single quotes, correct. Now when you say single quotes, you can write like this, hello, correct. Now when you say double quotes, that is also allowed, right? Let's say hello. You can write in triple quotes as well, right? Triple quotes, then 1 2 3 hello. Now when you try to print it like print single quotes, print double quotes, print triple quotes, it's going to give all as the same. See, hello, hello, hello. Now what is the benefit of this then, right? Now the single quotes and double quotes are going to be like kind of same thing. It really doesn't maybe uh, matter. Let's say now if you try to add it here, this one, let's see what does it do. It considers this as what, one element. But now if you put it here, right, you won't be allowed to do that, so it won't consider that. See what it says, when you open it you try to close it, but here you can have a escape sequence and then allow that additional character. We'll see that how it is, okay. But there is no difference in single and double characters, double quotes, right? If you want to represent a string, you can do it like using single or double. But if you have a multi-line, right, hello, this is a multi-line, so you can say multiple lines here in a string, first line, second line, and so on. Now see, Do you see this output? So this multi-line string is allowed to write using what? Triple quotes, remember. So that's where it comes, like first, so single quote, double quote, and triple quote. Hopefully you got it right. What does it I mean? Let me just maybe comment out everything, right? So that we, and then we'll go to the next topic, right? We are looking at like, maybe I will not waste commenting out the things. Okay. Uh, Let me just remove that, this rather. Okay. Now the second thing what we are going to look at, right? This was the first. Now the second thing we are going to look at the string concatenation. What is a string concatenation? String concatenation means what? Joining two strings or more than two strings. Okay. Now let's say if you have str1 as what? Hello. And if you have str2 as what? World. But and now if you want to if you want to have a string as what? Hello world. How would you do that? It's just a plus sign. Use plus sign, right? So see, print hello, then a space, and then world. Okay. Now when you print like that, you'll basically get the complete word. Now how to use this variables there? You can simply say like, instead of hello, right? We already have what? str1. We have what? str2. Now what it will do? It will concatenate all of these strings. So it will create a one string out of these three. One str1 is hello, then the space, and then str2. Correct. So if you look at output, right, what it is going to say, this is how it is going to. Right. Now what will happen? What will happen if you don't give this? It will simply not have this empty space there. See, it is just a one joint word. So remember, so when you concatenate the two strings, they are exactly appended to each other without anything. Okay, so that was the concatenation. Now the third thing what we are going to look at is what? A string slicing and indexing. Correct. Now how do we do a string slicing or the indexing? You can access individual characters in the string using indexing, and you can extract the portion of the string using the slicing. So now let's first look at the indexing, right? Let's say my string. This is my string. This is a string, right? You have, now you just want to have, see now how it is represented in a memory. This is again considered as an array. This is again considered as an array the way we have in C, C++, and other languages, right? And if we know that the array indexing starts with 0, this is first element, this is second element, this is third element, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, like that, right? So if you want to access only fifth element, right? My string, and then fifth element, it will just maybe print the fifth element. What will the fifth one? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it will print what? I. See, it printed I. Remember. So this is how. So you can basically have 0 as well. Correct. Now we can have maybe the 10th element. You can try to find out the 10th element. Is there any 10th element? No, it says blank. Why? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But this is the 10th one. So this will be 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, right? So let's say now 11th. It will basically give you what? Yes. See? Now what if we go 15? It should give us what? N. That means what? 16 is what? G. Now what will happen if we go beyond 16? Is there any character in the string? So what will happen? See, it's going to give an error or exception. What it says, index error. String index is what? Out of range. It is not in a range, remember. So when you give the index out of the range, right, it will basically shout with saying the error thing. No, it's not the correct one. What will happen if you give -1? See, it says G. What does that mean? -1 start from here. This is -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, that way. So if you say -4, what it would be? See, R. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You know the real number, right? You know the real line. What does the real line, how does the real line look like? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Whereas on this side, it will be what? -1, -2, -3, and so on. This is a real line. So this is how the indexing also works. If you want to go backwards in the string, use -1, -2, -3, and so on. If you want to go forward in the string, use 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on. Okay, remember. So this was about the indexing. You can use the indexing to find out or access the individual character in a string. Now, what is the slicing? Let's see if I just want his out of, like, I just want maybe the first index to third index character. So how I can do? I can do a slicing using like this. So what does this mean? I want a range from first to third character only. Okay. See, now it is going to print HI. See, so H is what? First, and this is second, but third is what? Not counted. So if I say I want first to 6 characters, it will basically give the 5 characters. See, HIS, right? If I want to say for 6 characters or me for 7 characters, it is only going to give this and is. See, so this is what it is called as slicing. You can just maybe find out the part of the string, maybe, right? And what if you give like this only 7? See, still it is going to give. So by default, it will consider it as what? 0. Remember. So by default, it will consider as what? 0 to any number of characters. So let's say if you give 6, it will give the 6 characters. Okay, that's how it is. So if nothing is given on this side, it will be a 0. And let's say now if you give here 5 and nothing on this side, what will happen? It will take end of the string and from 5. So from 5 is my string. Okay, till the end. So on this side, if nothing is given, okay, like this, if it is right, see, start and end of the slicing, right? So if start is given, that's fine. And if end is not given, end will be considered as the end of the string. If start is not given, start will be considered as what? Start of the string. Remember. And what if we don't give anything? This will be considered as what? Complete string. Remember. Now, what will happen to this? See, this is my string. Now it says everything except -1, right? Because this is upper bound is not counted. Remember. So this is what it is, a string indexing and slicing. Now let's look at the string methods. What do we have on the string methods? That's the fourth part. String methods. Let me just write that first, and then maybe we'll look at what are the string methods. Now string have many built-in methods for various operations, such as, like, you can convert the case, you can replace the substrings, you can split it, you can strip the white spaces, and more. Now if you want to see, right, what exactly the functions string has, right, you just put a dot here. See, do you see? It says find something, join, count, index, rfind, ljust. All these are the functions which string data type provides. Remember. Okay. So let's say now if you want to just maybe strip the word, right? or if you want to maybe just lowercase it, right? Let's say print. So one of the thing maybe what we can do, lower, right? So this whole string will be completely converted into the lowercase and printed. Similarly, you can say print my string and upper. Now if you print it, right, see, the next one is printed as a completely upper and the first one is what completely lower. So these are the inbuilt functions what you have. Now, in case, let's say if you want to replace something, my string, right? If you want to replace now, say replace old, new, and the count, how many, right? Let's say replace old is I. You want to replace I with P, correct? So what will happen? All the I's will be replaced with what? P. How many I's are there? One, two, and three. So how many P's will come there? Three. See. So P, P, and P. But if you just want to replace the first I and not the rest two, you can just maybe mention the count there. See. So the rest of the I's are not replaced. Only the first I is replaced. This is just a kind of maybe give. I'm giving an example, right? What exactly can happen, right? So this was about the string methods, what we can use, right? Then there are like many methods we can use on the strings, guys. Now let's see like how we can maybe use the formatting in the string, right? How we can use formatting in the string. Now the fifth part, what are we going to look at is what? String formatting. Now the way in C or C++ languages, right, we use %d, %s, %f, %c, %ld, and all those, right? You might be, if you recollect those, right? %s is for the characters, %d is for the word integers, %f is for the float, correct, and then %c is for the characters, all that stuff. Now, in Python as well, you can use the percent operator. In Python as well, what you can use the operator and then how you can basically print it then. See, it's pretty easy. Now, let's say if I want to change something else, right? Let's say name is equal to what? Rakesh, right? And then the age is, let's say, 39. Now, shops or maybe income is what? Let's say 2.5 crore. Okay. Now, we know that this is what? A float, correct? This is what? An integer. And this is what? A string. Now I want to print the statement, right? What I want to print the statement as what? Rakesh is of age 39 and has annual income as 2.5 CR. Correct. Now how do I print this line? Obviously sometimes maybe see I can simply say like this, print, correct, and then uh, the simplest way would be like just print, copy this line and then print it as this, correct. See, if I do it like this, but I'm not using the variables, then what is the use of these variables here, right? If sometimes in later I change these variables and maybe pass on these variables as the input to the script, how would I do that then? See, so what you can say, instead of Rakesh you should say percent yes, because that is already a name, correct. Then age, this is what an integer, so percent d, and this is what your float, so you should basically say percent f. Now in C, C++, other in C language mostly, right? What do we do? If it's the first percent yes, so you will try to put it like name. The next is percent D, so for that you will add it like age. The next is percent F, so you will add it what? The income, correct? Now let's try to run it if it works. It did not. See what it says. Percent yes is of age percent D and has annual income as percent F crore. Then Rakesh 39 2.0. What did it do? It just concatenated all these strings. It doesn't understand what exactly percent yes means. So there you need to give it as a format. what you need to give it as a format. What does it mean? See, so you basically need to give a format specifier. What percent? Percent means it will basically tell Python whatever after this in a bracket is given as what for the format specifiers used in this string. So now percent means what? The percent name will go here, age will go here, and then basically income will go there. See, now it is correct. Rakesh is of age 39, has the annual income 2.5 crore. Got it? So this is how it is going to be. It is called as what a string formatting. Remember. So this is one of the thing maybe you can have, or if you want to assign this complete string to something else, right? Let's say uh, new str, right? Or maybe a complete str. How would you do that? It's simply like this. See, you can just say like this. Simple thing. Now, if you try to print the new str, correct? What it is going to give you, it won't understand percent s, percent d, percent f. So it will say percent f is, and it will just be consider percent s as a character. But since this is a string, what this is a string, right? And the string has the functions. If you click on the dot, it will basically have the format function. When it's a format function, you can give, right? First is a name, another is the age, and the next one is what the income is. And now in this case, now what it will do, it will consider this string as an assignment to the new str. But before doing that assignment, it will change percent yes to the name, percent d to the age, and percent f to the what income. See, oh, it did not. Why? Let's maybe check it, right? Why it not? It did not. Ah, okay. Here it is simply basically different. You need to basically have it like this way. So whatever number of variables you want to have it here, right? You just maybe need to say like name. The first brackets empty curly braces will be replaced by name. The second would be age, and then the third would be income. See, yeah. Now, because see, if you are using a print statement, you need to basically use it like percent because there we'll be using a percent. But now this is a string. So when you are using the format, right, you can just maybe say all the open or empty curly braces are going to be assigned with what? The strings or the variables which are given in the format. Okay. Now this was that. Now let's look at what are the F strings. What are the F strings, right? Now let's go to 6 and then we will see what are the F strings. Now, F strings are also called as a formatted string literals. What do we call it as a formatted string literals? Now, this is basically what introduced to the Python 3.6. It was not earlier before 3.6. What does F strings do? F strings basically provide a concise way to embed expressions inside the string literal. Okay. Now, how does that do, right? Let's say now, if I say I have a variable name as Rakesh, correct? And then his age is let's say 39. Now I want to use a formatted string. So formatted string is just a variable name. So F, when I say here F, it means what? It's a F string. Remember, F means what? It's a F string. And then I can say like this. Okay. Yeah. So name is of age years, right? See, now what it will basically do, right? It will say the Rakesh is of age 39 years. So this is basically F means what? Here a formatted string literals. Remember, so when you, because we did not print anything, right? We can just maybe say print to know what exactly it is, right? So you will come to know whether it basically replaced name and age with that. So this is another way of having f strings, or maybe f strings, which basically provide a concise way to embed the expressions inside the string literals. Now, how do we calculate the string length then? How do we calculate the string length then? So that is the seventh part, right? So string length. Now, how do we calculate the string length? There is a simple function to the string length, right? You can just say len, and then it will basically give you the string length. See, so if you say what is the length of this, right? You can just say length of formatted string. It will give you what is the length of this string. See, so it is a length of what? 25. But instead of that, if you say print and then length of what? A name, it will basically give the length as what? 6. Correct. But what if you say print length of what? Age. Age is what? Not a string data type. So will it work? It says error. See, the int has no element as what? Length. Remember. So that's how it is going to be. So the lengths are calculated with the help of what? A len function. Now, what are the escape sequences? What are the escape sequences? Escape sequences. Now, escape sequences are used to represent characters that are difficult to input directly. So, which are those? Generally, this is called as a new line. This is called as a new tab. This is called as alarm, right? This is called as a backspace, right? And this is called as backspace, right? This is called as carries written, and so on, right? So these are the kind of escape characters, right, which you can use. Now let's say if I want to print this is first line and this is second line, will it come on the two different lines? No. But what if I give here slash n? Will that go on a different line? Yes, see, correct. So you can do it like this too. Now let's say if I put like new line here, right? See, it will give it on the new line. But what if I want to have a tab on this side, right? So I can say slash n slash t. So it will basically give a tab as well. Second thing will be what? Tab separated. That way you can basically have it. What if I put it here like slash b, right? What it is going to give. See, so the last e was printed, but it again given a backspace, so it basically erased that e. So this is the way actually you can use escape sequences in the Python as well. Now the last one what we are going to see in today's video is what? Raw strings. Raw strings. Now what are the raw strings? Raw strings are basically the strings, right, where you can maybe combine a literal characters and the regular expressions too. And these are always prefixed to what? By R. The way F strings we prefix it with F, these are prefixed with what? R. Let's say now, if you want to give some path, right? File path. Now file path mostly we uh, sometimes type of files. Let's say if you want to give the all text files, so you will use the regular expressions, but in normal string you cannot use the regular expressions. So in that case what you will use, you will basically use the raw strings rather. Okay, so let's say now this is C and then uh, ABC, right, and EF, and then file dot txt. So and if you want to print here file path, what will it print? See, so it says a complete path as is, correct. But if you don't give R here, what will that consider? See, do you see this is a bail character. Slash A is what? I told you, right? The alarm bail character FF. This slash F is considered as FF character. So if you want this character, this escape sequences to be considered as the characters. Put it as R here. That will give you like kind of a raw string. Yeah. Okay. So that's what a kind of maybe a quick on the strings. What does that mean, right? So there are like just some of the basic features of str data type which we have just covered in today's video. Strings are like incredibly versatile, guys, and are used to extensively in the various programming tasks. Remember, which includes text processing, data manipulation, and user interaction too. Okay, but this is just I tried to cover the very small part of it. Yeah. So these all things we have already covered. So the next topic what we are going to cover is what Python booleans, how to use, and then maybe the various examples practically. So guys, I would like to remind it again. If you haven't subscribed it, make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you will not miss any of the new videos on the computer science related stuff as well as on the mathematics thing. Okay, and make sure that you also share this channel with the people who really are in need of learning the new things on mathematics and computer science stuff. So please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. I wish you happy learning with the GravityTech. Thank you.